when you guys are old like me, you'll find that you have to go to the bathroom a lot more. Okay? You can't really hold, right? Too long when you're old. So this homily, because I don't have to go to the bathroom during it, will be shorter, okay? Shorter homily. It's going to speak about the first reading of the gospel, and very simply, looking at compassion, dignity, and then practicality, okay? Compassion, dignity, practicality. We hear from the prophet Amos today. Amos was known as a prophet for the poor, which is one of the three things the church does. The three things the church does is evangelize, worship correctly, and serve the poor. That's the three things the church does. Evangelize, worship correctly, and serve the poor. And if you look at the last three popes before Leo, you can even see that. John Paul was all about evangelization, traveled more than anybody else. World Youth Day, reaching out to people who were kind of forgotten. JP2, evangelization. Benedict was all about right worship. The dignity and the beauty of the liturgy and the sacraments and the mystery of the faith. And Francis was about the poor, serving those people, bringing life and compassion to those who needed it most, okay? So today, this is Amos's message to us. And he says, "Woe to you people," which is a very funny word he uses, "who sit on your couches and drink wine from bowls." You can imagine, like a big salad bowl filled with wine, right? That's kind of what I pictured. And drinking it, right? Or bourbon, or pop, or water, or anything else that you want to put in there, that you're just constantly satisfying yourself on this nice, comfortable couch. And you're blind, he says, to the destruction of Joseph, to the destruction of the Israelite people is what this means. To those poor people who have no one to help them, who are abandoned, like Joseph was abandoned by his 11 brothers. And Amos is saying, woe to us if we do this. We have to have compassion. What does the word compassion mean? Com, C-O-M, patio, passion. With passion. We serve the poor. We look at the poor by going through what they go through. When we suffer, or when they suffer, it is supposed to be our suffering. When they're hungry, we're supposed to be hungry. When they're thirsty, we're supposed to be thirsty. When they're naked, we're supposed to be naked. When they have no house, and they're in jail, and they're sick, and they're dying, we have to have those things too. Or at least the movement of our hearts has to suffer with them. That's what passion means. You go through suffering with somebody else as if it's your own. And Amos is exhorting us today. You have to have this attitude, this character. We don't just serve the poor because it's right and just. And when you serve them, you serve Jesus, absolutely. But you serve them as if it is your own suffering. And that can renew the way we give to them. Give to the poor and those among us. I'll get to that in the practical piece, okay? So that's compassion, how we're supposed to look at it. Opposite of the salad bowl, right, with wine. The next one is our gospel, dignity. Funny that we know the poor man's name, which is, but we don't know the rich man's name. Now, in tradition, they called him, does anybody know what they called him in tradition? Dives. Dives. D-I-V-E-S. They said his name was Dives, but in Latin, Dives just means rich man. So he has no name, but he's clothed in purple. He has all the fineries of life. He's sitting on his couch drinking his Coca-Cola, right, and root beer floats out of a giant salad bowl, ignoring Lazarus. Ignoring Lazarus. He has everything, but he has no name. He has no existence in God's eyes. He has no life within him. He has nothing really that counts for eternity. Just things of the world. And so when he dies, we hear he goes into Sheol, land of the dead. And notice what he does. He looks up and he sees Lazarus in heaven. That's Abraham's bosom, right? Sees him up there. What does he say? Father Abraham. It's like Jesus saying, don't just call me Lord, because it doesn't mean I am. So he calls Abraham his father, even though he's really not, by the way he lived his life. Father Abraham, send Lazarus. He knew Lazarus' name. He knew who he was. It's not like he didn't know he was at his gate suffering. He saw him every day, so much so that he knew what to call him, which makes it even worse. And then finally, he only sees Lazarus as a tool. Send Lazarus to me so I may quench my thirst. No dignity. Sees no dignity in the poor. Big problem, right? Big problem. Because as Jesus says in Matthew 25, when you do that to Lazarus, you do that to me. Right? One of the goats. So practicality, okay? Compassion, dignity, practicality. Okay, hopefully, my heart is a little bit stirred every time I read this. And it's kind of off-putting. It's like, well, how am I like Dives in my life? But what do I do about it? The 7 corporal works of mercy. Going back to catechism class, right? The 7 works of mercy. Like these 7 here, no. They told me before Mass started. Feed the hungry. Give drink to the thirsty. Clothe the naked. Visit the imprisoned. Anoint the sick. Bury the dead. We have to go and do the 7 corporal works of mercy. You want a game plan? Like, how do I serve, really? That's how you serve. That's what you're called to do, and I am called to do, and we as church are called to do. And those 7 are all around us. And when you give in these 7 specific ways, we don't just want to do it like we're checking a box. Even that we're doing it to get to heaven, which we are, but that we are doing it because we, again, are hungry and thirsty and naked and have no home and have no clothes and we're in prison and we're sick and we're dying. We have to have the same attitude. Our hearts have to beat with their hearts, the poor's hearts. And all of us here are the rich. All of us. So when you give, when you feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, you do these things, you visit the sick, you go into prisons, be creative, but do it specifically. And do it often, and do it in a way that hurts a little bit. Don't just give out of excess. Excess money, excess time. I'll go when I have time. No. Miss a Lions game to do it. Miss a sporting event to do it. No, we're not going to play. We're going to miss that game, coach. The kids can't be there today. Why? We're going to a soup kitchen. Got to skip that party. Got to skip that dinner. Can't go play video games today because the money I had for it, I'm giving it to the poor. Give out of necessity, because again, that's compassion. So, practicality. Serve with compassion, serve with dignity, serve Jesus and the poor, so that we will have life within us unto eternity. Amen? Amen. Amen.